Grab your peanuts and popcorn. Baseball is back. And that's right. Teams will be getting back out on the diamond this week. Last year's season sure was different, but that doesn't mean it lacked excitement. And this year, fans are going to be back in the stands, and it's poised to be even better. DraftKings, the leader in one-day fantasy sports, is putting you on the field with a free shot at a share of millions of dollars in total prizes. Now, if you haven't tried it yet, fantasy baseball is easy to play on DraftKings. Just pick 10 players, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for hits, runs, strikeouts, and other categories. There's no better way to put your baseball knowledge to the test than competing for a shot at millions of dollars throughout the week. But if baseball isn't for you, don't worry. DraftKings is still offering plenty of fantasy golf action for this weekend's tournament as well. I think Blues fans might think both might be better options lately than, considering how they've played. With millions of dollars in total prizes up for grabs this week, there is no better place to have skin in the game than with DraftKings. So download the DraftKings app now and use promo code THPN. Again, that's promo code THPN to get a free shot at a share of the millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit. That's promo code THPN to get a free shot at a share of millions of dollars with your first deposit, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
I was walking through the halls of a Minnesota rink when along came a Wild fan who started talking smack to me. He said, I bet you never liked the Blues until they won a cup. And so I calmly turned to him and said, hey man, listen up. I admit it's pretty great to win Lord Stanley's prize, but listen, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. Yes, sir, I'm a Blues fan. Yes, sir, I'm a Blues fan. Heartbreak's all I knew, man. That team from old St. Lou, man. Got a cup in here, 52, man. Give me a Let's Go Blues. I know Jackman, Johnson, Eastwood, Backman, Waite, Walt, Hanzus, Nash, Drake, Jansen, Boys Young, Jammer King, Salvador, Correa, Brewer, Lowe, Pollock, Finley, Turek, Sanya, Buganecki, Jay McKee, McDonald, Mellon, Bichayana, Kavanaugh, Mason, Manny, Stillman, Stepniak, McClement. Yes, sir, I'm a Blues fan. Yes, sir, I'm a Blues fan. Heartbreak's all I knew, man. That team from old St. Lou, man. Got a cup in year 52, man. So give me a Let's Go Blues.
And now, the starting lineup for your Bluenotes podcast. Tom Franklin and the man called Wags.
And Blues Fan Reacts. Hello and welcome to Bluenotes, your home for St. Louis Blues coverage on the Hockey Podcast Network. I am a discombobulated mess. I'm not even going to do my shtick today because, yes, that is the Stanley Cup championship behind my left shoulder. I'm pointing to it right now. We earned it in 2019, but we sure as shit aren't earning it now. This is Bluenotes. I am your host, Tom Franklin. That groaning you are hearing is from Mason, Blues Fan Reacts. And that sad music is from Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, who is filling in for Wags today. Wags had another commitment that needed his attention for this show. And who knows? But you know what? I'll spoil it. He's playing hockey tonight. And you know what? His team might actually win. And so I don't blame him for choosing that over bitching about the St. Louis Blues, because that is what we all are here for right now. Yes. Even you fans, Jeremy Miller, hey guys, what's up? How you doing? Well, you're probably doing better than we are. Ashley Jones, let's go Blues, staying optimistic.
No, actually, Jeremy's kind of a Columbus Blue Jackets fan, and they got their ass handed to them today too.
they've been getting that's been kind of a theme with them lately as well. 3 thumbs up. How's it going? I've only got 2. There's Mason's half-hearted third thumbs up there. So this episode,
you know what's funny? I put more of an effort on that thumbs up than the Blues had the last 3 games.
We'll get to that. We will definitely get to that. So yeah. First of all, we all moved on from Bobby Plager. I'll miss the guy. I want to thank everyone that joined us for our tribute, show on Wednesday afternoon. I've moved on, if only for the simple fact that the Blues are completely embarrassing Bobby right now on the ice. In the 3 games the Blues have played, they have gotten 1 point. And that 1 point was against the Anaheim Ducks, who are the worst team in the Western fucking division. They are probably one of the top 3 or 5 worst teams in the NHL. 1 fucking point. And you know what? I was starting to turn around this game whenever O'Reilly got on the board. Great, the captain scored. Then that's great. That's going to set things off right there. Your leader is going to get this team going. And then Vladimir Tarasenko scores, and he's got that goofy Russian smile of his. And you're thinking, all right, they are finally moving on from this. This is going to be great. Anaheim scores 1. Anaheim scores 2. Overtime, Anaheim scores 137. The Blues didn't even touch the puck in overtime. Guys, what the fuck? Mason, you look like you're about ready to pop. So
I want to, but my mom just commented, so I can't swear right now. But
hey, Robin, could you could you press mute? Press mute for about 5 minutes there. Hi, Robin.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom.
This is
Hi,
not fun to be a Blues fan right now. If I'm lucky that everything's in the wash right now, because this is the only clean thing I literally have. Otherwise, I wouldn't be wearing this because I'm not proud of it. I'm not. I'm definitely not proud of it. The Blues shouldn't be proud of it. The fans shouldn't be proud of it. The coaches shouldn't be proud of it. Nobody should be proud of this. This is embarrassing.
By the way,
you just hit on something. You just hit on something, and I've been talking about this for a while. And I'm going to jump all over it. I don't care who gets mad at me. We have a coaching issue in St. Louis. I'm sorry. You can sit there and go, oh, he won us the cup. That gives him 3 seasons. Oh, it doesn't. This is a coaching issue. I'm sorry. Our coach has not figured it out. And I don't know what. Look, I'm not an NHL coach, and I don't. But you look at the talent we have. We have the talent to be at the top of this division. Plain and simple, we have the talent. And when you have Mike Hoffman, a 25, 30 goal scorer on the 3rd line, which is an energy line and not a scoring line, and then you sit him after a 3-game, 4-game losing streak, I'm sorry. Something's wrong, and I'm calling Berube out. That article I wrote, I stand behind it. He's under a bit of a gun. I changed the title because I got tore up. I'm changing it back. Still under a bit of a gun, and he's screwing the F up.
First of all, some dude, Carlo from Vegas Nightly checking in. You guys can still turn things around, boys. It ain't going to be easy, though. He's a Vegas fan, and he wants the Blues to do
just making the playoffs. He wants to bend us over a table for 4 straight games. Because that's exactly what he wants.
That's going to be that 4 straight claps right to the freaking face. I don't want the Blues to go to the playoffs. Okay, no. I don't want them. It's going to be embarrassing. We have a 1st-round pick that we haven't traded away yet. Let's get a good player with that. You're going to say something?
Go for draft position. Go for draft position.
But what are you getting? What are you getting? Right? You're going to be especially since they changed the draft now, the chance of you getting anything higher than what you are or even less, because they're only picking 2 spots now, not 3.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So what good does that do? What good does it do? What good's a 15th or a 16th or a 14th? What good does a 10th to a 15th pick do us?
Well,
absolutely none.
I mean, we got Tarasenko with the 16th overall one year, but that was
lucky.
But that was lucky.
That was remember, Tarasenko was highly rated. There was a little bit of an issue with the KHL there.
Yeah,
they were 23rd.
Yeah, there was concern that Tarasenko, if he would even come over, he kept saying he would, and he did, but people were kind of leery of the KHL at that point. You're right, but I would definitely much rather have a 10th overall pick versus a number 16 pick.
Well, I mean, that's where we're going to be. We're going to be somewhere in that range. So you're looking at 16, 14, 16, 15, 14, 13, somewhere in there.
Ashley Jones ponders, how in the world do we lead 2-0 and lose to the Ducks? Two words.
Oh my!
Blues hockey. That's how.
It is the dreaded 2-goal lead when we have it, and the insurmountable 2-goal lead when they have it, and we've seen it the last 2 games.
314-622 Blue for season tickets to watch this shit show. Ashley also agrees there is a coaching problem. I'm starting to wonder, and there's been hints of it going on, like dating. I can go back all the way back to the Robbie Fabry situation. Now, Robbie Fabry's not a superstar. He plays for Detroit now, and I haven't even looked at his stats, but I haven't seen him like mentioned in a long time.
10 goals.
10, yeah, so it's not bad. But the
10
issue
goals on the worst team in the league, second worst team in the league.
The issue with Fabry in St. Louis was he didn't play a 2-way game. Berube didn't like him. He was going to be a third liner, and that's pretty much what he was. He was what he was. Flash forward a year from now, you make the signing of Mike Hoffman, a proven 30-goal scorer, and you pay him $4 million, and guess where he ends up on Craig Berube's system? The Robbie Fabry position. He has completely replaced Robbie Fabry in that regard. If he's not on the third line, as you saw today, he's healthy scratched. Now, I've been critical of Mike Hoffman, and I do wonder if it is a scheme fit with him, or if he is just who he is, which is a scorer and nothing else. We were warned by analytics. I was even warned by our Ottawa Senators host Shane Ryan about Mike Hoffman. He will get you so many empty goals that will come when your team's already leading 3-0. He'll get the fourth. He's just that type of a player, and we're seeing that this year with him, where I gotta applaud Mike Hoffman for practicing safe social distancing, in this, COVID world we live in, because if there is a player within 6 feet of Mike Hoffman, he's fucking useless.
Yep.
So yes, if he was paired with maybe a better line, maybe he becomes more useful. But for whatever reason, it's not going to happen here in St. Louis. And I think we're just showing the NHL that Mike Hoffman, yeah, he could be good for you in the right situation. And we don't need those players. We don't need Mike Hoffmans. That we need to be particular about him and make sure he's in the right positions and in the perfectly right spot.
See, I disagree with that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna throw in there. I disagree with that.
Okay.
I disagree with that. We knew what we were getting when we got Mike Hoffman. We knew what we were getting. The fact that we're not using him the way we knew what we were getting, that's on us. That's not on Mike Hoffman. Now, you ask him to do something else and he tries, but he doesn't get it. He doesn't do it. It's not him. If that's the case, that's on us. That's not on Mike Hoffman. I'm sorry. I'm gonna defend Hoffman on this. He knew what we were getting. Should have been a second. He has never played on a first or second line more than 1 or 2 games. That's where he needs to be. That's where he should have been from the get-go. And we screwed this up, not Mike Hoffman.
That goes back to a conversation we had this time last week when it was Wags, Mason, and I. Is there a disconnect between Craig Berube and Doug Armstrong? Doug Armstrong may want players, and of course he's going to be the final say in getting those type of players. But do you get the feeling, Guy, that maybe Berube wasn't consulted on this Hoffman pick, and this is Berube's way of protesting it or something?
Well, if that's it, screw you, Berube. Absolutely, it's time for you to go. Because you know what? Your job isn't director of player personnel. Your job isn't the general manager. Your job is to coach the players that they put in front of you. Now, if they went around you and said, you know what, I'm sorry, we're going to do this because of this, and you didn't like it, you're screwing up. You should have just said, okay, I understand this one. Let's see what I can do. And if that's not what's happening, that's on Berube. I can get flame sprayed from here the kingdom coming back. I'm going to stand by this right now. And I've got nothing against Berube, but going back to the bubble, this team is not done right. You can go back to the bubble. And I put it on coaching then, and I had a couple of interviews tell me, no, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. But you know what? Go back to the bubble and come forward. It sure looks like it's a coaching issue.
All right, we'll go to Mason here next. First things first, King Angus, thanks for watching from up in Montreal. Enjoy the salt. Scoop Troop on YouTube says, we need to start Huso. Mason, that's your favorite option, right?
Oh, my favorite blue, Billy Huso.
Maybe he wants us to tank. Maybe that's the solution. Maybe that's the reason. Although, as Dan Ferris points out, the draft this year kind of a crapshoot because there's limited to no scouting of the junior leagues, and it's been kind of a messy up there in Canada. So that might be a bit of a crapshoot there. How's it going, Rooster? I want to ask you, Mason. Jeremy Miller says Craig is losing the locker room and the fan base. I think we're seeing evidence of he's losing the fan base just with this very show here. Do you think Craig is losing the locker room, Mason? As I drink a Bush Apple because I don't. The Blues don't deserve better beer tonight. I'm drinking cheap shit.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm lost for answers here. I
think we all are.
I love Craig Berube, and I understand Guy's point of it shouldn't matter what players you're given. Your job is to coach them. I'm with Guy there. Yeah. But the least the general manager can do is, because Craig Berube is not a speed coach. You got to keep in mind. He's not a speed coach.
That was how the Blues. Coach. That's how the Blues won the cup. They won the cup. They grinded the hell out of everyone, and at that time it worked. A couple comments. By the way, we are on live trade watch here because of the Hoffman was healthy scratch.
I got every analyst notifications on, so the moment something happens, I'll know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Craig Berube just said, and the Blues just tweeted it out, Vince Dunn couldn't play today with a lower body injury and is considered day to day. Is that lower body are the intestines in the lower body, and that's what Dunn's lacking is intestinal fortitude? Is that what's going on here?
Holy!
Well, they're blaming it on him taking the puck off the ankle. But
he warmed up the whole like throughout warmups. He was suited up and ready to go, and he was a late scratch. I think Mikkola came in on him. So maybe I don't like to get fully into like the trade speculation and all that stuff. Do you think maybe this is the Blues protecting Dunn, or maybe they're working on a deal?
Actually, I do. I do, and I got something on Twitter from my buddy Hockey Hound, and he posted something that made a lot of sense to me. And I had him on. I'm trying to find it. I had him on my intermission show, and we talked about this a little bit.
Hockey Hound show on Twitter. That's his label there.
Hold on. Yeah, I can't find it. I don't know why I can't find what I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. He said. Okay. Breaking news. David Pagnotta of the Fourth Period in a recent article said the Let's Go Buffalo wants a first-round pick and a young player for Hall, but a second-round pick, a top prospect, and perhaps another asset might end up being the package the Sabres receive for Hall.
Yeah. Which maybe that other asset would be Dunn, as Craig Berube just kind of scuffles off from the press box there. And actually, he just returned. He walked away and then he just came back. We can't actually play the presser on here without getting copyright dinged. But
I'm listening to it. Yeah, actually, we're allowed to play the pressers. We're allowed to play audio only.
Yeah.
I don't want to piss off Fox Sports or nothing like that. I don't think it's worth pissing off an entity like that.
Which, by the way, thank you, Fox Sports, for giving us a copyright ding on our Plager tribute. Classy.
Absolutely classy. So classy.
So classy. That's great. That's just wonderful.
I'm glad your name's being changed to Bali. That's all I got to say. I'm glad it's changing to that.
Yeah, although I don't know if Sinclair is going to be much better in that regard. But anyway, back to let's see. Let's go and go over some comments here real quick as we try to figure out what life means anymore. Ashley Jones, I still don't like Wallman. I don't either. He's a great skater. He's got a good shot. He is a terrible defender. Jeremy Miller, I think Hoff, Dunn, and 2 firsts for Hall and Dahlin. That would be interesting.
What
I would
space?
give 1 first, not 2.
How much cap space do you think we have?
Like all of it, according to him.
I would love that trade.
Oh, that's almost an even up
cap
trade.
Space.
That's almost an even up trade.
Yeah. Kyle Mead, Taylor Hall is not a good fit with the Blues. He wasn't a good fit with Buffalo. He wasn't a good fit with Arizona. He played himself out of New Jersey. He wasn't a good fit in Edmonton. Is he a good fit for anyone? No. So I don't want Taylor Hall. He had 1 great year, and that was a heart-worthy year. What else has he done in his career? Teams with Taylor Hall on them do not rise up and suddenly become playoff contenders. Before the Coyotes last year, in his 11-year career, he went to 1 playoff series, and the Devils lost in 5. So that's his illustrious playoff history. I know he's had some bad luck with teams, but at the same time, Taylor Hall is not the solution here.
He won't fit. He won't fit.
He is not going.
Okay, let me pose you this. If you want Taylor Hall, tell me what line he'd be on, and I will debunk it immediately.
3rd.
He'll be on the 3rd line.
3rd line? No.
Where all the good
That's
players
exactly where they're going to put him, and that's the problem. That's why he doesn't fit, because you put him on the 3rd line, which is an energy line, which he isn't an energy guy. Don't take any chance. The only way he fits is if he takes Thomas's spot, and Thomas drops down to the 3rd. But I don't think he's a center. I think he's more of a winger. I think he's played center, but I don't think he can play center. So who do we put at center if he comes up?
Here's okay. Let me rephrase that. Name his wingers. Name his 2 wingers, and I will tell you why it wouldn't work. Any 2 players on the Blues.
You're talking about Hall?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go with Schwartz and Tarasenko.
Why not Shen?
Agreed. Okay. Let's go with O'Reilly and Perron.
Do you think that Taylor Hall is good at hitting? Where's the forecheck on that line? Besides O'Reilly.
O'Reilly's your forecheck on that line.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but who's going to help him out?
No one.
Exactly.
Okay. Perron's not a forechecker. Hall's not a forechecker. He's, Hall is very SAWFT soft. So yeah, no, that would not work. I'm with you. He just doesn't work.
He won't work anywhere.
If Mike Hoffman doesn't work for this team, what makes you think Taylor Hall is? I asked that to Gabriel Foley, and Gabriel thinks, oh well, Hall could definitely score at least 15 goals for this team. He's scored 4 this year for Buffalo? 4?
Mm-hmm.
4? Okay. So
remember when there were rumors that St. Louis was in on Taylor Hall last year, or what? No, it was last year.
There have been rumors for
he went to Arizona. Debunked that. I said it doesn't even fit the Blues then. Blues then, which had more speed on their team, arguably. Yeah. Do you really think he's going to fit on us now? We are a much worse team now.
By the way, I gave Taylor Hall too much credit. He has 2 goals this year for Buffalo.
Yes, 2.
He is a -20, although everyone on Buffalo is at least a minus. I feel that's low for Buffalo. But
-7.
Yeah, but last year with Arizona, 35 games, 10 goals. Before that, he played 30 games in New Jersey, 6 goals. Taylor Hall. Can we just finally get it out there? Taylor Hall is not elite. He's not. No. Period. I question whether he's even very good. I mean, he just doesn't do it for me at all. He didn't do it for a lot of teams this past offseason. That's partly why he ended up in Buffalo. I hate this idea so much. I don't like Taylor Hall as a player. He does not solve the problems, and then he's a free agent. He's a free agent this offseason. And he's probably going to want, at least, I mean, he may not get $8 million anymore, but I mean, he's
He's gonna
probably
want he's going to want six.
he's probably going to want 6. Are the Blues going to give him that? Fuck no. Because we have our own problems to worry about. We have some young, Dunn needs a new contract, although he's probably going to be Seattle's property.
I walked my
long.
comment back on Berube just a bit.
Okay.
Berube on Hoffman. I just want more out of him. I just made a decision not to play him. I want more out of him. That's basically what it boils down to. I need more effort and competitiveness from him. He hasn't scored in 10 games. Basically that. That was from Lou Coric. That was a quote.
Yeah. By the way,
called him out. I like that. I actually like that he finally called some players out.
Also, the Blues are not getting Rasmus Dahlin. That's just, that's not an opinion. That I don't have any sources to back that up. It's just a fact.
It's just a fact.
The story so far, Vince points out, Buffalo isn't getting rid of Rasmus and Hall for Hoffman, Dunn, and 2 firsts. LOL. Buffalo is asking a crazy amount for Dahlin. They want a Matt Duchene package to Ottawa, kind of a trade. As well they should, because he was their first overall pick. So, and he's still young enough to where he might be able to be salvaged, because he is not been good for Buffalo. But again, that's Buffalo for you. And I mean,
do you want to know something really sad?
What?
20% of Anaheim's win this year came in the last 2 games against St. Louis. That's 20% of their wins throughout the entire season.
And people say that the Blues aren't charitable enough.
Oh, so much charity. You know what? We should just say, fuck the schedule and let us play Buffalo every year and let them rack up the points and make a Stanley Cup run. Come on. Yeah. Who says no?
King Angus points out $8 million for a third liner wouldn't be something I'd do, even if it's just for the last half of the year. Well, in Montreal, they're dealing with Carey Price and Shea Weber. So, I can see why he wouldn't do $8 million. He's lived that life before, life of disappointment. That is for sure. And also, let's talk about this other thing that I've seen. Once these Taylor Hall rumors started, first of all, Vince Dunn. Yeah, I could see that, maybe. I mean, I don't know if Vince Dunn actually would want to re-sign in Buffalo, but he's a restricted free agent with arbitration rights. He'll get paid. Buffalo can afford to pay him, and who the fuck knows? But let's stop this right now. Buffalo's not going to take Mike Hoffman from us.
No.
Why? Why would they? He's not going to re-sign in Buffalo. And he's up for, free agency this offseason. You do that unless they think that they can flip him, at the deadline, because they did that in the Ryan Miller trade. They got Yaroslav Halak, and I think he played like 1 game for them, and then he was shipped off to I think he went to go to Washington.
New York. I thought he went to New York.
Somewhere on the East Coast. He went somewhere on the East Coast. He might have been the Islanders that he ended up with. That's the only reason Buffalo would take Hoffman off our hands. He is not gonna turn that franchise around, and I think they know that. So no.
You want me to give you one reason why they would take Hoffman?
Why?
One simple reason.
Why?
Bergelin, Kaboka, and I can't remember the kid's name.
Taze
Thompson, and a pick.
Yeah, but that GM's gone. That
doesn't matter. Who's pulling the strings there? They got a woman. They got a woman owner pulling the strings who thinks she knows hockey. Trust me, that GM is nothing but a puppet.
Exactly. By the way,
we wrote a story on it. We wrote a story on it. Jeremy wrote a story on it. This is the GM is a puppet string. GM's on a string.
Yeah. By the way, Dan Ferris, he wants Hakanpää from Anaheim. Can Anaheim just leave him here? I will say I was pretty impressed with him, and he's actually, by the way, friends with Nico.
Pick, isn't
he? He was, I think, way back when, but he's also friends. He's also friends with Nico Mikkola as well. They both played in Finland. I don't think together, but they just kind of grew up together. So that's interesting idea. But yeah. I'm really concerned, guys. I mean, for one, getting back to Berube, I tweeted something out before the game today when he presented his line, when the Blues presented their lineups. I thought it was seriously just like, he put all the names in a hat and he was just like, picking them out of this hat right here, just like,
no, you're right.
Perron. Okay, great. And he'll be with, let's see. I hope this is the center here. Let's see. Oh, good it is. It's who did Perron play with? Thomas?
Thomas, yeah.
Yeah,
Played
but
on the second line.
Robert Thomas, there you go. Finally getting him his chance. It felt so random. And it's just like I whenever I see coaches do these like blow ups with their lineups, to me that kind of tells me the coach doesn't have a grip on things, and I'm kind of worried, just as you were, Guy, that maybe Berube is losing the locker room a little bit. What do you think?
No, I'm going to stand by what I said at the beginning of the season, right? Is he a bit under the gun? And I think he is. Now, a lot of people took that to mean, do I think he's going to get fired? I think he's putting himself under a gun. This is my system. I'm going to play it. I'm going to stick to it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? What you should have done right off the bat in your 10-day training camp or whatever it was, look at what you had, look at what was available, and then adjust your system to that. He has not made any adjustment. That 8-0 blowout to Colorado, and you look back on that now, and that shows you something. We were not ready for that game. We went into that game thinking after the 4-1, smacking that we gave them, we got this. And we haven't got it back since. We haven't got it back since. The only game that we've played one game since that game that was, I could say, we played Blues hockey, and that was the overtime that we beat Vegas.
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't like that game. I was not happy with that game, actually. The one that I was happy with, I think the only game that I really liked was the 6-1 victory over Anaheim. That's it.
Oh, it's Anaheim, so that could have been 2-1, and it would have been a victory.
Oh, I know it's Anaheim, but this is also Anaheim who just beat us twice in a row.
True.
So
True.
Yeah. Same Anaheim team. And of course, if this sounds familiar, if you're just a general NHL fan and you're thinking, where have I heard this with Berube before? Well, Dan Ferris points out Philadelphia fired Berube for about the same things we are complaining about here. So, it's looking like that, Berube's going to stick to his guns and he's going to do the noble thing and, go down with the ship, if you will, as we sink, in the standings to 5th or 6th. And then he'll get fired in the offseason and we'll have a Blues coaching search to talk about, which I'm sure no one would have expected coming into the season, but it's the way it is. It is the absolute way it is.
Do I want Jim Montgomery, though? Do I want him as the head coach?
No.
I'm just thinking about that. Would I rather have him or Berube? And I'm like, no, Berube by far. So what's that going to solve?
Yeah.
Well, there's the other thing. They brought Montgomery in as a power play, as a special team specialist.
That's working so well right now.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It's obviously not working.
Our special teams has not been the same since Mark Savard left.
Nope.
Not even close.
I knew when Mark Savard stepped away that was going to hurt this team badly. And guess what? It's hurt this team badly.
Killed us.
Mark Savard, the former power play guru, this is turning into a shambles. It is just absolutely turning into a total shambles. And guess what? If we sound bad now, let me remind you of the Blues' upcoming schedule. Okay.
Here we go.
Friday. By the way, they get a few days off here, which maybe they can dunk their heads in some cold water and wake themselves up in between now and Friday. They're at Colorado. So that starts that fun, and then they'll be in Colorado Saturday as well. Next Monday, they'll host Vegas. Because those games have gone well. Wednesday, a week from Wednesday, it's Vegas again. And then Friday, Saturday of the next week, it's Minnesota again. And based on that one game we've played against them this year, that's going to go fucking great. Actually, I take it back. It's a 3-game set against Minnesota. Yeah.
This is the meat of our schedule. I've been talking about this on my pre-games and post-games for a while that we needed that if we didn't come into this, being at the top of the division, we were in trouble.
Yeah,
trouble isn't even the best word.
And I think I saw, I don't know if it was from NHL.com or someone mentioned on Twitter that yes, the Blues do have the hardest schedule in the NHL from here on out.
Yes,
this is what happened, and of course, and then they compared like Arizona and LA's, and they're like in the 20s, I think. For
they
a
got a pretty
schedule.
good schedule coming up. Because we had the easiest in the first half, so obviously when we struggle in the first half, which is supposedly the easiest schedule in the NHL, we're gonna go in and fucking I can't. This sucks. This is unbelievable. You cannot go into the next. I don't want them to touch the playoffs. I want them to tank. I want them to lose 10-0 after every single game.
Mace's mom, turn your head for about 5 seconds here, okay? Drink. It helps. This is why St. Louis is a brewery town, I think, just because of moments like this. It's rough. It is, and I'm resigned to the fact. I know it feels hypocritical to want your team, the team that you support, to miss the playoffs, but I just don't see any positive outcome with the Blues being in fourth place going into the playoffs the way they've been playing. Now, of course, they could do their 2019 resurrecting act again that got them this, Stanley Cup here. But again, with this schedule, they're not going to go into Colorado and fee-fi-fo-fum over them. They're not going to fee-fi-fo-fum over Vegas. They're going to get smacked. It's just the way it's going to be. And I think we have to, Taylor Hall's not going to change that. No other trade acquisition the Blues are going to make will change that. Yes, there'll probably be some deals to be had in the trade deadline. I mean, Eric Stahl went for a 3rd and a 5th round pick, which, just a year or two ago would have been unheard of. I think he's a good player. I think Montreal got themselves a good one there, but he went for a 3rd. Buffalo wanted a 2nd. No one was paying a 2nd for Stahl. They got a 3rd. So there would be deals out there, but it's just, again, you have the cap situation going here. Like right now, the Blues have about $5 million in cap room, but you know why they have about $5 million in cap room?
They got to bring Parayko back.
Ding! Exactly. Colton Parayko. So once Colton Parayko's back, bye cap room. So now you're in the position
it's going to have to be a player for a player. It's going to have to be money for money.
Yeah.
Or it's going to have to be the other team taking the money so it doesn't make our cap hit.
Or the other team going, hey, we'll cover this player, half this player's salary, but you got to make that 3rd into a 2nd. It's going to be
announce a trade.
Yeah, I know. We're literally waiting for something here. Nothing. I don't think anything is going to happen at this point, but we could be wrong here.
No, if it was going to happen, it was going to happen during the game. That's why I think Dunn and Hoffman. I think that there were talks going. But you know what? I'm going to go back to something else here, and this goes to something I was saying yesterday. Last year, when we were in the Hall deal, what was that for? Was that for Hull to come to St. Louis? I don't think it was. That was to drive the price up. And they drove the price up so much that when Arizona took Hull, they couldn't do nothing with him.
They paid a premium for him, too.
Exactly. What the Blues did was take somebody out of what should have been out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? And that's exactly what they did. I had a feeling, and I still have this feeling, that all this Hall talk now, same thing, but drive the price up. Because who's looking at him? I'll tell you who's looking at him. Arizona or Colorado's looking at him.
Well,
Vegas is looking at him.
According to
teams
Dater,
in our division are looking at him. Even though it's coming out that they're not, I think they are.
According to Friedman, they're not Colorado's not looking at Hall, but I mean, we got time. Well,
I say this. I get how some of these guys are well connected. And I get how Freeman's well connected. I really do. But we know for a fact that some of these general managers use Freeman to drop the price.
Oh, they use them all. The Bruns and McKenzie's. They'll throw stuff out there to get them to buy it and then get it out there.
And it drops the price.
It's
and when the price drops, they jump back in and get what they're looking for. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's happening.
I would not be surprised either. And I don't know if Buffalo gets their first round dream for Taylor Hall, but maybe they still get a second and a good prospect out of this, which would be good for Buffalo. I mean, they're not going where. They don't need Taylor Hall.
Buffalo needs a new owner. That's the only thing going to be good for Buffalo.
Agreed. They need the NHL to take that franchise over and then, sold to a better owner. Or, I mean, you definitely don't want to move out of Buffalo. Buffalo's a good hockey market.
I'm fine with them being in Buffalo.
Loyal fans. But yeah,
I'm fine with them being in Buffalo, but they need ownership that's not going to raise the ticket prices every single year when they can't make the playoffs.
Exactly.
Oh, we're rebuilding. Will you pay us 10% more?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 314-622 buff. Call that number for season tickets. Yeah, no one's going to do that. No one's absolutely going to do that. And that's where your bread and butter is.
I'd rather call 1-800 eat shit and die.
Eat shit and that's a little long, but we'll work on that.
Okay, 1-800 eat shit. Are you happy?
Well, guys, I think we're all on the same page here. The Blues suck right now. This is probably the low point of the season for them, and whether or not there will be a dead cat bounce will not be because of Taylor Hall or Mike Hoffman or Vince Dunn suddenly becoming the player that all the analytics darlings think that he could be. This is a more complex mess that we are dealing with here with the Blues. And for me, it all comes down to one simple factor, but a big part that is fueling my anger at the Blues over this. Bobby Plager, Mr. Blue, died on Wednesday night or afternoon. This is your response? This is your response. When the man who has bled more buckets of blue than anyone in history, you go and squander 2 games to Anaheim? That's what you fucking do?
It's hilarious because I tweeted out right after they lost the first game to Anaheim. I said, well, in honor of Bobby Plager, the Blues decided to be outscored 6-1, which is a difference of 5.
Yeah.
In honor of Bobby Plager, we got a -5 goal differential. There you go. Way to do him proud. You guys are just amazing. I will literally never forgive you for that.
Exactly.
Never.
I got to ask you, does this surprise you? Go back and think of emotional games. Think of Ari. What happened after that one when she died? We got our asses handed to him. The game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Right? They came out and said they were tense. They weren't ready for the pressure of that game. Right? This team does not and has not responded well to emotional games for a long, long time.
All the more
I don't
reason.
think it matters. You find a way to win. You find a way to win regardless. Like you found a way to win against San Jose in that 2-1 shootout win. You found a way to win. Everything was against you in that game, and you found a way to win. Why should this one be any different? You have something to fight for in that game. In the game against Minnesota and the game against Anaheim and the other game and Anaheim. Have I said this before? You find a way to win.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Everything else be damned.
I'm just throwing it out there. History is history.
They haven't. It's true. They've never been good at it, but there's no excuse. It's Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota's fine. You're dropping 2 straight against Anaheim. You're going to lose by 3 goals to Anaheim. And then you're going to get clapped in overtime.
Let me tell you.
You're going to blow a 2-0 lead? Wow. Okay. Yeah, you do you, man.
Yeah. Let me tell you about a guy named George Gipp. George Gipp was a college football player at the University of Notre Dame back in the very early part of the 20th century. He played under Newt Rockne. He was named, he was actually Notre Dame's first ever All-American football player. He died 2 weeks after being announced as an All-American. And it was on his hospital bed that he is said to have delivered the "win just one" for the Gipper line. He apparently said this to Rockne. Rockne then related to his team, "win one for the Gipper." And fuck if they didn't win. The team responded. They won it because this was their ally. This was their friend, and by God, he would have wanted this team to win, and they won. They beat an undefeated Army team 12-6. It was an upset after that speech was made. If Newt Rockne came into the Blues locker room here in 2021 and said, "Win one for Plager," they'd fucking lose 5-1. That's how much heart this team has.
So much heart. So much motivation in that locker. You could tell every single player is so motivated. Everybody's the right fit. Everybody's clicking on all cylinders. Coaches are wonderful. The GM is my favorite person in the Blues organization. I don't know if I've ever said that. Doug Armstrong is the best general manager in the entire history of the St. Louis Blues. Giving Binnington, and by the way, can we talk about how much of a steal that Binnington contract is? A 6x6. What an absolute steal. He can go on the market and get 12. He is so good. He is Connor Hellebuck good. Jordan Binnington can close out games and single-handedly win us games. He's just the best goaltender in the entire world. Doug Armstrong, once again, best goaltender in the world. Ryan O'Reilly, the best captain in the world. Vladimir Tarasenko is so good. Mike Hoffman is the perfect fit for this team. Zach Sanford is wonderful. Everything's fine. Vince Dunn is a franchise defensive defenseman. The analytics on him. They say he is a cornerstone defensive defenseman for the team. We have so much going for us right now, guys.
As Dan Ferris reminds us here, on Hull's retirement night, they got beat too, and I was there, and I think he's talking about the banner raising night. I was there. Here's the game puck that I have from that night there, and I remember they raised this banner before the game, and it was such a big moment for me because I was a Brett Hull disciple growing up, and there were tears shed and all that stuff, and I don't remember what the score was, but the Blues got spanked.
I think they lost on Plager's banner night.
I think they did. I
don't know.
I think they lost on Plager's banner night.
Okay,
too.
Which one? Because there was two.
Barkley, yeah.
Both. On Bobby's.
Talking about Bobby, yeah. They lost that night too. Mostly
they do not do good. They do not do good on emotional nights. Sorry, that's just the way on emotional games. I know it's an excuse or whatever you want to say it, but history right now shows us that this team for the last few years have not done good on emotional nights. The Stanley Cup Finals, Game 3, this was your chance. This was the first game in St. Louis in 49 freaking years. The first time you ever played in June. You had proven to everybody you belong here. You win an overtime game 2-1 on a pisser goal. And then you decide, we're not going to play this game. We're going to let Boston score all the I can't even say it, all the power play goals they want.
Yeah.
Right there. And they came out tight. They weren't ready. The emotion of that night overtook them. This team does not play well on emotional nights. And I'll tell you what, if there's any chance of righting this ship, the emotions got to get taken away. The Bobby stuff has got to stop and get taken away. And that's the thing is it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. And I know that's sacrilegious to say it, but that's where I'm looking at. And I've got the numbers and the stuff to back me up on this.
You're right.
No, you're absolutely.
And I'm not trying to, trust me, who was the one balling the most when we did the Plager one, It affected me a lot, and it still affects me. I still have a story to write about it. So, yeah, it affects me. But these guys know better, and whatever's going on in that locker room's got to change. Right?
Agreed.
And whatever it is, if it's Berube losing the locker room, okay, you've got O'Reilly, Tarasenko, Schwartz, Perron, Parayko. There's so much veteran leadership, and Shin, so much veteran leadership in that room. Hell, the Rangers won without the damn coaching staff.
That's true.
9-0.
Yeah.
No coaching staff at all. They switched their own lines up.
Did we beat the Golden Knights when they lost their coaching staff this year?
Yes.
I think we did. Okay.
That's
we,
the
we
one
did.
game we won when they had the other coaching staff, and they took us to overtime.
So there you go. So when we play Vegas, the solution is just get the staff all riddled with COVID. I mean that's how we'll,
our
that's
staff
how,
out.
That's how we'll get into the playoffs, guys. Yeah, start coughing.
Let's. If Berube's the issue, then fine. You guys fix it yourself on your own.
Yeah.
In spite of him, right? And that's what I don't get. That's what I don't get. These guys are supposed to be professionals. I've had bosses I've hated too, but it doesn't mean I didn't do my job.
Right.
And that's where I'm coming from here. Berube is just like Yo and just like Hitchcock. They're hard, stern coaches, and sooner or later they wear thin. Right? Tortorella in Columbus, he's wearing thin. Torts wears thin. The only one of these guys that never wore thin, two of them, and we had them both, Bowman and Q.
Yep.
Because they're you know where you stand with them, but they don't sit there and browbeat you, right?
Yeah.
They tell you, look, you can do better. What I'm seeing, can you work on it? Thank you very much, or you'll be in the press box.
Yeah. Andy Murray
does all these freaking head games, right? And he's playing these head games, playing them with Hoffman. He's playing them with Dunn. He's playing them with Mikkola. Keeping Stanford in when Stanford was having all those issues, right?
Yeah.
Wallman has been, up until today, today's probably Wallman's best game. Wallman has been a huge disappointment in my eyes, and he's part of the reason Dunn's played so bad.
Yeah, because they've been paired together a lot.
Yeah, and Dunn's trying to cover for Mikkel or for Wallman.
And in my opinion,
look, I know what you feel about Dunn, but I've seen a lot of that.
And those two should not be paired together, Dunn and Wallman. They're like the same player, essentially, except Wallman's faster. And, maybe, Dunn's more calculated, but they're similar types of players. You don't pair those two up. I mean, and then, of course, in my opinion, they should be starting Mikkola over Wallman anyway, but I'll take that to my grave.
No, I agree with you.
They need to play Mikkola more. There's a difference when he's out there. He contributes on both ends of the ice. What more do you want? What more do you want?
And the other thing is, you talked about it earlier, Mason. You said we're not a speed team. No, we have a coach that doesn't know how to coach speed. We have speed. We don't use it. And that's a problem, right? Kyrou. Kyrou's a freaking rocket. Who's he paired with? Two of the slowest guys. What good does that do? I just kicked Tom out.
I'm here. I let something fall from my bookshelf. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I thought she got mad at me. Oh, then I go away. But no,
I'm the only one with working equipment, and even that's generous because this is the worst webcam I've ever used in my life.
Well, see, that's the thing with me. I use a DLSR, but they have a 30-minute timer. So I'm working on getting me a regular video camera, a regular movie camera.
Yeah. My webcam is on a laptop, and it's a really good webcam. It's actually a nice HD webcam. You can have backgrounds on it without green screens. It's great. Oh, yeah. The problem is it is on a computer that if I were to unplug my power cord right now, I would be gone in about 5 seconds because the battery is completely shot on it. Yeah. So yeah,
same with my laptop. But what I was trying to get at is we have speed. We don't use it. Thomas has speed. Sanford has speed. Kyrou has speed.
Clifford has speed.
Yeah.
Huh? Clifford has speed.
Clifford has speed. And we don't use it. This is why I'm standing behind my stand that there's a coaching issue. You have to look at the players you have and adjust to them. Your system works on the top two lines. It doesn't work on the bottom six. Well, if it doesn't work on the bottom six, move them around a little bit.
Stephen Glass points out you can't ask small players that are fast to dump and chase. Dump and chase, in my opinion, should die. I mean, we got to be more creative than dump and chase. It just doesn't work. Also, Thomas has speed as Blues fan, 55.
I think I said that. I think I threw Thomas out there.
Yeah, exactly.
80% of your goals come from the neutral zone.
Yep.
Plain and simple. 80% of what you score happens in the neutral zone. We are by far and have been for a while one of the worst neutral zone teams in the league. We're trying to do these stretch passes, but when we do them, when teams do them and they're effective, the guy gets it going north. Our guys get it coming south or going east-west, and it kills the stretch pass. What good is a stretch pass if you have to stop?
I'm in a Blues group chat right now, and somebody just said, "This is Ball Sack Midwest coming at you live at Ball Arena, where the Blues are about to give you blue balls."
Is that somebody watching our show?
No, this is just in a Blues group chat. They're talking about how unfortunate Ball Arena is in Bally Sports Midwest, and how the Blues are going to give you blue balls every single time they fucking touch the eye.
Very ball. Yeah, the next time the Blues will be on, though, it'll be on Bally Sports.
Bally Sports. Bally Sports. It's Bally Sports.
Bally.
Hey, well, think of that.
I'm calling it Bally. Not calling it Bally.
Do you mind if I talk about my contest I got coming up?
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Okay, so for April and May, I got a great sponsor. Forrest Crump Enterprises, a construction company, small construction company in Illinois and Missouri, is sponsoring my prizes. I'm giving away a Justin Falk nameplate, signed nameplate, 2 mystery pucks, more than likely the St. Patrick's one, and then that's for first, second, and third. And I have about 10 more door prizes I'm giving away. So for every 5 points you score in the contest, you will get a ticket. So you play one time, you get 1 ticket. Hit 5 points, you get your second ticket, and so forth. It's open, no password. Anybody can play. Get as many people in there. The more people I get, the more prizes I can have. Support the sponsor. The Pick'em contest is fun. I know, Tom, you've played it. I know, Mason, you've played it. And it makes watching the game a little more fun, especially when we got to deal with this crap.
Yeah,
and somebody picked the game right today.
Yeah. And then while we're talking the contest, we have not forgotten about these guys, Center Ice Brewery. I screwed up the DraftKings contest, but no, I've not forgotten about it. And I think by next Sunday's episode, we will be able to announce a new contest for that $25 gift certificate to eat the Center Ice Brewery. We will have something in place that's a lot simpler. And all you need to have is just a Facebook or Twitter account to take part. That's it. You don't have to sign up for anything. We'll do that, and then it'll be a contest that runs through the end of the season, which now will be for the Blues will be on May 10th because they added a makeup game against the Los Angeles Kings on May the 10th.
So that's when they put it, May 10th.
Yep, right. They extended the season by 2 days. So,
well, I mean, you've seen that coming. They're trying to get all the teams 56 games.
And that might be pivotal because, if this is the difference between the Blues making the playoffs or not, they get to take on the Kings, who should be beatable on paper, but this is still the Blues.
That's what we said about the Ducks, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's
hey, did
awesome.
You see Dan Ferris's comment?
Holy shit.
Do I
want to?
So basically, Berube is the NHL equivalent of Jeff Fisher, but with a championship. That's good. That's good. All St. Louis sports fans will appreciate that. One final thing here, real quick, as we noted, Wags is not here tonight for this episode of Bluenotes. We hope to have him back on for Thursday. We're going to try to reach out to our Avs host on our hockey podcast network to maybe do a little bit of an Avalanche preview with him and kind of reset. But in the meantime, he did send us a video, by the way. He wanted to share his memories of Bobby Plager. He didn't have a chance to do that Thursday because he was working, and he asked us to play this. So let's go ahead and play that, and we will then close out of the show. Here's Wags.
Hello, Bluenotes fans. This is the man called Wags, and unfortunately, I'm not able to be with you guys live tonight. I have a hockey game, unfortunately, so I'll be busting my butt to try and win a game tonight. But I wanted to jump in and give you my thoughts on the passing of Bobby Plager, a Titan in St. Louis. And as he has always said, number 5 in the programs, number 1 in your hearts. And that is something that is no more true than it could ever be, because Bobby Plager was a guy that put everybody before himself. He was an ambassador for the city of St. Louis, for the St. Louis Blues, for his family. He was always a guy that would downplay his contributions and uplift the other ones around him. I mean, he always said that Barkley was the better player and always put Barkley up there, and to be somebody that props people up throughout their entire life. It just shows you what kind of heart a guy like Bobby Plager had. And it's just something that is going to stick with me for so long and kind of influence the way I go about the rest of my life, because, Bobby Plager was a guy I never got to see play. I've only met him once. It was at training camp at the Mills. Oh gosh, maybe somewhere 15 years ago. I'd gotten my very first Blues jersey for my birthday, and we went over there to watch a practice, and he actually signed my jersey. And that's really the only interaction I got a chance to have with Mr. Plager. But it just sits there and shows you what kind of person he was, because he was doing that all the time. It didn't matter if it was at a practice, at a game, out in public, doing whatever. Bobby was a man of the people, for the people. And it just still blows me away what he has done in the 50 plus years that he's been a part of St. Louis Blues hockey. And to see him lift the cup in 2019, that was the most exciting part for me. It was great because we had won the cup. We had our captain for the first time in history lifted. The guys that battled their asses off to hoist that cup, they deserved all of that. But I wanted them to be done with it so that Bobby could raise it. And to have him be embraced by that team, it just speaks volumes to who he was. Because, the first few years out of retirement or into retirement, the team is somebody that knows him. There's a reason for that. But when you get to be at this point in your life and in career, when you have guys that have had zero ties to St. Louis, had zero ties to the Blues, and yet they are there in their first year and know how important it was for Bobby Plager to get a chance to raise that cup, that just shows you what he was all about. And it's hard not to get emotional about this, because Bobby was a guy that everybody loved, and he loved everybody in return. And I'm just thankful that we got to have as much time as we did with him, because he made everything around him better. Even when things weren't going well in the organization, you knew Bobby was there, and he was the light in all of that darkness. Anytime the Blues had experienced that. I love the fact that he couldn't watch the ends of games. Just watching that video of him in Game 7 when he had to just go away. He couldn't watch the end of that game, even knowing full well that they were very likely going to win that game. I mean, they were up. Yes, Boston got the goal, but they were up. They were going to win it, and he still couldn't watch it. And that just speaks volumes to me, because I'm kind of the same way. I don't trust anything until it's done. And it seems like Bobby was like that as well, all the heartbreak that he suffered. But just being able to have him win the cup as part of the organization, lift it, get his parade, you could almost feel like a weight was lifted off of his shoulders. And it's a weight he didn't have to carry. It's not like we sat there and said, oh, well, until the Blues win the Stanley Cup, Bobby Plager can't leave. I mean, that's not what it was about, but that's what it was for him. He was a guy that carried this burden on his shoulders. And maybe it's because he lost his brother at a young age. Maybe it's because he thought they should have won in their first 3 years and they didn't. I don't know what the reasoning was behind it, but he carried that burden. He carried that torch, and then he got that cup and lifted it, and you could just see it all kind of melting away. And Bobby was always happy, but I think he was even happier after they won the cup. It's just amazing who Bobby Plager was. And there's not going to be another one like him for a very, very long time. It's still hard. It's still hard a few days later. But knowing that he's in a better place, he's up there celebrating with his brothers, Barkley and Bill, being able to celebrate with the guys that are no longer with us and going to them and saying, hey, guys, guess what? Guess what we did? Guess what we finally did is we won the cup, and now I get to share it with you. Knowing that he's up there doing that just makes me feel so much better and happier. And as Doc Emmerich said, Bobby Plager would want us to laugh. And it may not be the time right now, but we're going to look back and continue to smile and laugh and enjoy the moments that we had with Bobby, because that's what he would have wanted us to do. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. Bobby Plager may be gone in body, but he's always going to be here in spirit. And it's something that we can never lose as Blues fans. So I'd love to hear your guys' memories as well. And keep sending them in, because just because we're doing this today doesn't mean we can't continue to talk about Bobby Plager. So guys, have a great rest of the show, and I will see you guys next week.
And there you have it. A man with more heart than the St. Louis Blues did this past weekend.
Yep.
And I think that's all we can say about that. Of course, if you want to, we've kind of bared our souls over Craig, well, we've definitely bared our souls over Craig Berube today, but we bared him over Bobby Plager on our last episode. You can check that out on YouTube or Facebook. Our Justin Falk fan club, it's up there on Facebook if you want to check that out as well.
I also did one after we did yours. I wasn't going to, but I actually had a few of my people that follow me says, Guy, you have to.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for me, especially since I did it on your show. I didn't want it to feel like I was, playing something else, but I got asked by my group. So that's why I did another one.
Yeah, I saw that. It was that was great of you. And just if you like what you've heard today, feel free to like and subscribe, and follow Bluenotes for our future content. Whether you're listening to the audio version of this or YouTube or Facebook, we certainly appreciate your patronage and appreciate you sharing the word as well. Mason, any final thoughts?
There's not a thought behind these eyes right now, Tom.
Okay, except maybe murder.
Maybe murder.
I can see the murder in your eyes. Okay, Guy, any final thoughts from you?
Well, I know I sat there and I saw it all doom and gloom, but you got to keep your head up. You got to understand that
it's hard.
I know, and I sit there and I say that you're right. It is really hard, but we got to look at this team as take everything away. It's 0-0. Day one of the season. If you did that, would you think this team still had a chance to beat these teams? And that's what you got to look at. And if I look at that, I say, okay, maybe. Let's see what these 3 or 4 days off do for them.
Yeah, let's see it'll be interesting to see how this little layover affects them. I mean, because they did go through kind of I want to say a tough part of the schedule based on the teams they were facing, but they did a lot of traveling and things like that. So maybe this break will recharge them. One can only hope. But of course, as always with the Blues, you never really know. Really know. But we'll find out. We'll find out. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of Bluenotes. I want to thank you for listening and watching, because without you, there is no me, there is no Mason, and there is no Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and there is no Hockey Podcast Network. So thank you very much. I'm Tom Franklin, reminding you to not be a chump. And Mason?
Play to the whistle.
And
okay, well,
go visit the stlouisfanreport.com.
Mahalo.
A reminder that you can follow Bluenotes on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bluenotes Pod. I'm the voice of the Blues, Tom Calhoun. Jeremy Boyer, play us out.
You're listening to the Hockey Podcast Network, your home for hockey talk covering every team in the NHL. New episodes every Monday. Download at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com or wherever you get your podcasts from.